Yo, what is going on, you guys? It is Carter from CBH Sports, and welcome back to another Bracketology video. I know it's been about a week and a half since I made one. I made one not this last Monday, but the Monday before that. I just want to kind of give you all my updated thoughts going into what should just be a phenomenal Saturday of college basketball. Not as much going on Sunday, but uh, tonight we got a fantastic matchup between UConn and St. John's. So yeah, let's start the one line top overall. Uh, Arizona. They're the only Power 5 team that is undefeated. Um, Michigan, Duke, and UConn are 2, 3, and 4. Uh, Arizona gets Oklahoma State on Saturday. That should be a win. Oklahoma State did just upset BYU though, so they will be coming in ready to play. I'm not worried about Arizona though in that game. Michigan, they face Ohio State on Sunday in Columbus. And then Duke gets ready for their big clash with North Carolina on the road on Saturday night. And then UConn is in Madison Square Garden tonight for what should be just a fantastic game at the top of the Big East. We'll get to St. John's when I talk about them. A win for UConn keeps them, on that top line solidly. Illinois, a win for them tomorrow. They're my number 5 overall seed. We didn't talk about them much, I believe, in my last bracketology. They're on a 12 game wins streak. They have a huge test tomorrow night on Fox. They go to Michigan State, a team that's lost the last three lost the last couple games. Lost to Michigan, lost to Minnesota on Wednesday night. So Tom is we'll have them ready to go. We'll get into them a little bit later. They've fallen a little bit in my bracketology. My second, third, and fourth and 2 seeds are Iowa State, Houston, Nebraska, Purdue. Not Purdue. Just up to Nebraska. Nebraska's really kind of fallen off after an 0-2 week. They were number 5 overall for me. They take losses to Michigan and the Illinois team that I just talked about. They're down all the way to number 8 overall. A big reason for that is their non-conference slate wasn't very good, so they need to get back going. They're at Rutgers on Saturday. If they can win that, just keep on winning. They'll have, I believe they play Purdue the week after next, so should be interesting there. Um, Iowa State plays a bad Baylor team. Houston will go to the Marriott Center there. They're playing a featured game on Saturday night. We'll get to BYU later too. They haven't been as great at 9:30 Central on ESPN. On to the three line, like I said, Purdue, Kansas, Gonzaga, and Vanderbilt. Both Kansas and Vanderbilt move up as a direct result of losses by Texas, by Texas Tech. The team that gave that loss was Kansas. They're all the way up to number 10 overall. They've played like a different team. Over the last month, they've had Darren Peterson back, the presumptive number one overall pick in this June's NBA draft. They have Utah tomorrow. Oregon travels to Purdue tomorrow. Both Purdue and Kansas should handle business. So should Vanderbilt. They get an Oklahoma team that's lost their last 9 games. Oklahoma should fire Porter Mosier at the end of the season, but I haven't talked about Gonzaga, who just took their first loss in West Coast Conference play. They have not won the West Coast regular season title in 2 or 3 years. It's been on St. Mary's that's done that. Gonzaga did win versus St. Mary's last weekend, but they fell to Portland to begin their Oregon road swing. Now they go to Salem to face Oregon State tomorrow. That's a must-win if the Gonzaga wants to remain in a protected seed line, as they stand at 22-2, 10-1 in the West Coast. They remain number one in the conference with the win over St. Mary's last weekend. Now on to the fours. Like I said, Michigan State fell as a result because of the loss to Minnesota, and they a huge game tomorrow versus Illinois at home. That's a must win for Tom Izzo's crew. Illinois is much more talented. They're playing the best of any team right now in the country. But I believe in this Michigan State team. I think they can win tomorrow. If they don't, I'll be worried about them. Texas Tech is number of 14. Excuse me. Florida's number 15, and BYU is number 16. Texas Tech is taking back-to-back losses to UCF and Kansas on Monday. Um, they should get back on the right uh, track against West Virginia on the road. Florida has a big matchup versus Texas A&M at the top of the SEC. The winner of that game will be in first place in the league. Um, and then BYU hosts Houston in kind of a must-win game if they want to remain a protected seed. Again, we are a week away from the bracket preview, which is essentially the bracket selection committee comes together, and they a week from tomorrow, which will be Valentine's Day, on CBS, they'll release the top six teen overall seeds. So the top four seed lines, and I'll be projecting those this time next week. Likely, I will have videos out on Monday and Friday next week, just in preparation for that. Really gonna hone in on the top 16 next week. On Monday, it'll be the full 32, but on a week from now, it'll just be me talking about the top six team. Right outside of that, we got UVA, North Carolina, Alabama, and Arkansas. For just a second, BYU, they have got to beat Houston. It is easier said than done against Kelvin Sampson's team. But BYU has AJ DeBanza, one of the top prospects for the upcoming NBA draft. So anything can happen there. Back to the 5 seeds. I know that North Carolina has they beat Virginia on their home floor, but I mean Virginia is 19-3, 8-2. They're a game and a half better than the Tar Heels in the ACC. I think Virginia lost to Syracuse, and North Carolina win over on Duke. Even if that's unlikely at this juncture, if that goes on Saturday, North Carolina, there's a shot that they move into a protected seed line. A big thing holding the Tar Heels back right now is going 0-2 on their road trip to Stanford in California a few weeks ago. Alabama's win over then SEC leading Texas A&M moved them above Arkansas. They have another big one on Saturday afternoon on the Plains. They lost to Auburn wait, no. I can't remember what happened last Vegas. Anyway, It's a big rivalry. It's the Iron Bowl on the basketball court. They're just a game above 500 in the SEC. It's a road game for the Crimson Tide. So Alabama has moved up above Arkansas. Arkansas, a loss versus Mississippi State on the road would kill their chances for a protected seed. I mean, the Bulldogs have been really bad this season, and but the Razorbacks, they have not won in Starkville since 2015. So it will be very important for the Tar Heel for the Razorbacks to win tomorrow with LSU coming up on Tuesday. If that's a game on the road, then back home to Fayetteville versus Auburn on Valentine's Day. Tennessee, they get their chance to avenge their home loss to Kentucky in the Wildcats' home. Tennessee's won 4 games in a row since that loss in the Food City Center. This is kind of a must-win game for the Vols if they want to stay ahead of Kentucky going forward in these bracketology. Because if Kentucky sweeps them, then I'm gonna have to move Kentucky above Tennessee, and likely above Arkansas if the Razorbacks lose on Saturday. Next is and these are the 6 seeds with starting with Tennessee. St. John's, a win over UConn, even at home, will do a number for their resume. They didn't do very well in non-conference. I know they do have a win over Auburn that they got in Las Vegas. Not much else to speak of. But a win tonight versus the Huskies will be important. Louisville has kind of regained itself. It kind of back to their old selves after getting Mikel Brown back a week and a half ago or so. They go to Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest, it's not a they're having an okay season, but never underestimate the Demon Deacons. That's a game that Louisville could definitely lose. But win over SMU this last weekend, so a lot of things going well for the Cardinals, but they can't let this momentum end on Saturday against Wake. Clemson continues their West Coast road trip. They're in California. They're 19-4, 9-1 in the ACC. So just a game back of Duke in the ACC. They can keep on winning. They haven't. I don't think they've faced UNC yet. They may have faced Virginia. I'm not sure, but just keep on winning if you're the Tigers. I'd say the same thing for Kentucky. Sweep Tennessee for the second consecutive season during the regular season. I know they lost to the Vols in the NCAA tournament last season, But I think Kentucky. I mean, they went to Fayetteville and punked Arkansas. I don't like Arkansas wasn't ready for that game. I mean, they just kind of physically dominated that game. Then they beat an Oklahoma team that is not great at all. So Kentucky needs to just keep on proving that they're worthy for a better seed than they're in. I think they'll be a 5 or a 6 when it comes to March, but we'll see. Another SEC squad right behind the Wildcats. It's the Auburn Tigers. They're just a game ahead of 500 as well in the SEC, right with Alabama. The winner of Saturday's game versus the Crimson Tide, the winner will have a small shot to win the SEC regular season title if you win out. But Auburn's gonna really have to play defense against Alabama's shooters. But Keyshawn Hall, the Auburn forward, has been great this year, just north of 20 points a game. So Alabama will have to deal with that as well. So should be a high-scoring game for on Saturday in the jungle. St. Louis is next. The 7th seed is 22-1. Josh Schertz, their coach, is going to get a better job next season if he wants it. They face LaSalle on Saturday. They keep on winning. There's a shot they could get a 4 or a 5 seed. They are that good. Next is UCF. They beat Texas Tech on Saturday. Then they lose to Houston. Houston's just a different animal. They face old American Conference rival Cincinnati on Sunday. That's Cincinnati. I was watching the West Virginia versus Cincinnati game last night. I turned it off before it ended, so I don't know who won. But Cincy had the lead for a while in that game. Then West Virginia, or no, it might have been the other way around. Cincinnati came. I think West Virginia came out. But anyway, that's a winnable game for Cincinnati. Like UCF really needs to go into Cincinnati and win that game, and gain their 7th win in conference. Villanova has been pleasantly surprising this season. Didn't really know what to expect out of them in year 1 under Kevin Willard. They go to Georgetown tomorrow. At this point, if Villanova wants to get a better seed than an 8, which is where they are now, or a 7, they're just gonna have to win out because there aren't very many great wins to get in the Big East. You can't take a bad loss, which is what if you lose to Georgetown on Saturday, that's what it would be. Continuing on the 8 line, Iowa Iowa just keeps on winning here. 17-5, 7-4 in the Big Ten. They host bad Northwestern team on Sunday. Texas A&M 17-5, 7-2. They took their first SEC loss since January the 13th against Tennessee by taking a loss to Alabama on the road on Wednesday. It's not a bad loss at all. Alabama was supposed to be a conference title contender this year, but now they face the team that they're tied for the conference lead with, top the SEC, the Florida Gators. We will find out if this Texas A&M team is really legit against this Gators front court and North Carolina State wraps up the top 32 to top 8 seeds. They're 17-6. They're 8-2 in the league. In the ACC, they just beat SMU, I believe, on the road in the midweek. They face a Virginia Tech team led by Mike Young, and they will need to win that game to keep moving up. They got North Carolina coming up, and they will Will Wade is really turning around after a slow start for the Wolfpack. Next up on the 9 seed line, you got Utah State, SMU, Wisconsin, and Georgia. Georgia is winless over their last 3 games. That they should be able to go into LSU and get a win on Saturday. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank y'all for watching. It's been Carter from CBH Sports, and I'm signing out. Peace.